want to check up on y'all, making sure that you are in sound mind and sound spirit, that everything is going good. And if it's not, I am truly hoping and praying that everything will run its course and you will see the goodness on the outside of it. As I have shared in different episodes, there are people who will email and tell me about an issue that they are having. Now, I do so in sharing in secrecy, but I don't share unless you tell me you want it shared on the episode so that some information can be shared and gained to other listeners. So if there is a situation that you're going through or just, need some advice or just want some take and perspective on it, you can send me the information to seasondialogue@gmail.com. And today I do have someone with a situation. We're going to speak on it and we're going to talk about it. So it reads, my best friend and I have been friends for over 20 years. We have been each other's rocks, and now it seems she has completely changed on me. Her and her husband divorced 1.5 years ago. Before their divorce, I got married. She was the matron of honor, and as couples, we did so much together. I noticed that she was very distant after the divorce. I expected it. I knew she went through an emotionally and financially breakthrough, but she soon started to come back to herself. We would do dinner and have friend time. I would purposely leave my husband out because I didn't want to make it uncomfortable for her. But lately, for the last 4 months, our communication is just not there. When I would call, she wouldn't call me back, and she'd say that she meant to, but our conversations would always be short. When I would ask about going out, she'd say she was busy or that she didn't feel like it. She suddenly became cold towards me, and she recently unfriended me from Facebook. I know that may sound petty, but it was a clear sign that there was something wrong. When I went to send her a text about meeting up, she never responded. I don't want to jump to conclusions or walk away from a friendship that I had for so long, but my best friend's persistent ignoring and changed behavior is bothering me. If possible, could you do an episode on this? I know I'm not the only one who may be experiencing this. I don't want to react off of emotions because she may be going through something, but I don't know either because she won't talk to me. Let's get in it and let's talk about it. I've said this before and I'll continue to say it, that friendships go through seasons. They go through ups and downs and they go through rifts. I also believe that if I call someone a friend in close proximity, if I love you and the ins and outs of you, we recognize through our friendships that we can talk about any and everything. Maybe sometimes when something bothers another person, it may not be able to be talked about right then, but at some point, we're going to have a discussion and someone should be open with it. What will grind the gears of another person is not being able to find a resolution in a space in which they are confused. And the person who has sent this letter is in a state of confusion. No one should ever make you feel that you have to guess what it is they're thinking and what it is that they're feeling so that you can get a place of comfortableness with them. I don't want to tell you anything that may make or break the friendship, but I'll tell you that the way in which she is acting is not as she has, and she could be going through something. So we do give grace for that. But as you stated, you don't know what's going on because she won't even answer your text messages. It is also telling, it's not petty, that you guys were Facebook friends. I mean, you are best friends, and that, of course, things that you put up, she likes and you like back. I mean, that's part of what it is, with the virtual world. And now you see the absence of your best friend. It is a telltale sign that something's going wrong, and even the movement in communication where things were ongoing and now they are silent. I'll tell you what it could be. Readily recognizing it for what it is. Sometimes we don't want to believe what it is that we already know inside of us. Your friend went through a divorce. She is feeling the ups and downs and the repercussions of what happened after divorce, like many people do. They are either settled in the knowing that things are changing and they want to operate in life with happiness, joy, and finding themselves, or they are feeling emotionally pulled because of the weight of the divorce has caused them to question some things about themselves, their partner, and life itself has changed. I want to be honest with you, and I don't want to be mean about it when I say it, but we have to be real with it. This has nothing to do with you personally. It seems as if your friend is going through a process, and in the instance of this, while her marriage has become annulled, no longer, she sees the happiness in you and your husband. That is a humanistic feel. It's not right by any means, because if she loves you, right, she will love and honor and respect what you have on your side. But maybe there is an uncomfortableness there as well, because when she sits beside you or in front of you, when you guys are meeting up, she sees the reminders of a ring that shows that you are linked to another person. And maybe it is that certain conversations are uncomfortable for her. I know you said that you don't allow your husband to be in the gathering because, of course, you would be something like the third wheel. Understandable, you're doing the right thing. But it is not your responsibility, not your whole responsibility, to woo your friend into a place where she understands that she doesn't have to act the way that she is towards you. People have to take responsibility for what they do, their actions, how they behave with other people. This is something new for your friend, so she doesn't even know how to move. I get that. I'll give her that. But when we talk about friends and the closeness and how much we love and how much we poured into each other and the things that we have done, my friend, my best friend, even if she's married or not, would be a sense of support for me. But I'm speaking of me. I can't speak for anyone else. If your friend has not given you the opportunity to talk to her so that you can see what's going on, so that changes can be made, so that you can get an understanding of the gravity of her situation, the only thing that I can tell you is to pull away. Because the more that you pull forward to pull her towards you, the more that you will become sick inside. And I mean like physically and emotionally, because this is someone that you have known for years and has given you so much happiness, and now it's nothing. It is difficult to process, but I want to also inform you that I'll go back to what I said before. It's not your responsibility to, make sure that your friend is okay after she has shown you that she doesn't want to be bothered. When numerous text messages and phone calls have been given, when you have done your part and the person doesn't want to do their part just by responding and answering, not even giving a text, she deleted you from Facebook. It speaks volumes as to where she is. I'll say also, I give grace where grace needs to be given, but we have to operate like people who have common sense. If somebody is pulling for me and I don't feel like talking, there is a responsibility for me, because we are friends, to say, hey friend, I'm going through something right now and I know you don't understand, but maybe, we can get back in a couple of weeks or however long is needed. At least a response is some kind of answer to something, instead of leaving you on the cliff and having you think that it is your problem and your issue or something that you have done. These are the steps that I would take as a friend. You've already done due diligence by reaching out to your friend via phone call or text message to no avail, no response, no nothing. You have done your part. It is now in her hands to respond back. And if she does, then you can ask the most digging questions, which would be, why did you delete me from Facebook? What is the issue? Many times in friendships, when there is something sticky icky in the situation, it feels very uncomfortable to have uncomfortable conversations because you never know how this thing is going to measure out. If the person is going to be receptive of what it is that you're asking or you're telling, or will they just be guarded and leave you alone altogether? In our heads, we take a gamble, but if you are best friends and you have closeness and there is still that love there, it would be great if she gave you some form of information as to why she is showing up this way in a place in her life where I'm assuming you have always been like a sister to her. And dear sis, I'm going to tell you, if you do not get a response back, move on with your life. I know it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, of course, because this is someone who was consistent in your life. She was your matron of honor in your wedding. Like, we don't want to see the disposal of friendships. It just causes us to feel as if we gave up too soon, but you didn't. You did what you were supposed to do. You are now married. You have a husband. You have a life to live. Maybe this is the shift in your life where all things don't have permanency, and this is a lesson that you need to learn. And with all due respect and showing you something beautiful as well, you learned what you needed to learn about your friend and the way that she behaves in complicated situations. You learned how it is that you operate in situations when it's uncomfortable with someone that you love. I honor that you want to link back up in this friendship because there is this closeness that's undeniable, a 20-year stretch that can't be compared to anyone else. But I'll say what I said again, sometimes things don't have permanency. Sometimes they're temporary, even if it was a 20-year connection that brought about so much happiness and joy that has now ended in some form of silence. You can only do what you can do with what you have. Anything outside of that, you can't do. You can't make a person communicate. You can't make a person want what you want. You can't make a person see your perspective and how it feels. I'm sure the pulling away and the absence of you is playing in her head as well. But again, we don't know the circumstances. But I think that when we honor friendship, some form of answer has to be given when we are asking in love, hey, what's going on with you? How can I help? You've been distant. It's been dry. Why did you delete me off of Facebook? We all deserve people who love us enough to just communicate what's wrong in their lives. And some people just don't have the capability sometimes when things are rough. So again, that's why I'm giving grace in this situation, that maybe she doesn't have the words. Maybe also going back to the first statement that I had about your newfound happiness and her instances of understanding that now she is a divorced woman is opposite of what she experienced in the beginning of this friendship, in the middle of this friendship, and towards the end of this friendship. Sometimes the realization that we don't have a partner or someone beside us shows us facets of ourselves that we've never seen before. And so it becomes quite difficult to even just resonate with ourselves. We are different. We become different. We journey differently. But sis, I'm going to tell you again, if no outcome comes out of this where she doesn't feel pulled to answer a text or send a phone call, come by, explain herself, you cannot put your hand on anything and make it do what you need it to do. There can definitely be a happy ending. I don't think that friendship can be destroyed from something like this if there's entering into communication, but communication is key. I don't see how y'all can get back into this place if she's not employing some form of communication and telling you what's going on in her life. And maybe she doesn't have to tell you bit by bit, right? She's just going through an experience, but you wouldn't know because she's not letting you know. So my answer to you is don't lie in waiting for her, because she's kind of giving you the answers to what it is that you're struggling with. It's so funny. Sometimes we feel like we have people all figured out by the history, and by the length of time that we've gotten to know them. But it is when situations like this that are sticky, icky, we don't recognize the person that we have known for so long. And this is when the complication comes. We all have a way of making decisions. It may not be what we want. And I know you have ruminated in your mind so many times how to handle this situation, but baby, she didn't really give you anything for you to handle. She kind of just showed the way for you to exit. And if exit is what you do temporarily in this process, hoping that she'll get back to you and let you know what's going on, I'll say to you that you are showing her that in some ways you can be bended and that you can be moved in certain places where you don't put your hand up and say, not today, not right now, and I can't proceed if you can't communicate with me. In all goodness, in all fairness, again, grace can be extended because this is someone that you've known for so long, but the reality of the situation is that this has been extended for a very long time. And if no communication is given to you, my dear sis, I don't know how you can handle this. So in closing, I'll say to you, walk away from the situation with a clean heart and a clean mind, knowing that you did what it was that you needed to do. You communicated in a way that a sis would do to another sis, best friend and love, that you genuinely care for her, that you want to connect and you want to learn more about this situation so that you can assist and help her. She gave you nothing to work with. So now the door may have to be closed for a while. In many instances as well, we have to learn to protect our hearts. We have to guard ourselves from being disappointed. I know it hurts. I know it's a very complicated feeling, but there's nothing that you can do when no one gives you anything to work with. Thank you so much, you guys, for tapping in. Thank you for being here. I do have something special coming on Friday, an interview with a certain someone, and I'll do that on Friday. So that is my first interview that I put on the podcast. And again, if you are new here, I hope that something resonated with you. I hope it hit home for you. And if you like what you hear, listen, go to some different episodes as well. Take that in, sit in it, and decide whether you want to be a part of this podcast. I want to tell you deeply, again, show my appreciation for all of the listeners, the comments, and even the ones that are steadily giving reviews. I do want to shout out some people that, and I haven't done this in a while, but I want to give some shout outs to some listeners. All right, so I hope this is not a repeat because to be honest, I don't know where I left off with these shout outs, but I think I have a clue. So I want to go to, let's see. All right, so we got Urs561, URS561. She said, or he, I finally found a podcast that I can relate to. Lisa Marie is the truth, and I feel like she is talking to me on each episode. Thank you so much. M. Farouk 83, where have you been all my life? Love the show. The host, soothing, healing voice, the authenticity. Ooh, I can't even say it. Authenticity. And visually pleasing aesthetics of the YouTube versions. We need you, Queen. Don't stop. Monique J. Thank you, Monique. It's me, Ty. Every Black woman should be tuned in. I appreciate you. D-Rob646. Shout out to you. Very dynamic, inspirational topics. Delaney 1984. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you for just saying that you love looking at the videos on the feed. TBG727, thank you for the shout out in the hearts as well. The podcast makes me feel seen, heard, and valued. April Deans, followed from Instagram. Cat King 334 says they are just starting the healing journey, and one particular episode resonated with them. JAKRN, Jack RN, the podcast is so uplifting and encouraging. Thank you. Crooked Magnolia, beautiful soul, she said, I came across your Instagram video addressing matching negative energy, and now I'm here. Versaccio says, love you. Someone reposted you into their story, and I'm so thankful and blessed to have come across you. Jean Ram 77 says, I am thankful for her sake. I found you on IG. I love your perspective on reality. Thank you so much. Katie D2N, my algorithm introduced me to Lisa through her reels, and then I made my way to the podcast. And last but not least, Crystal Cavett, she says, a humble healer. I discovered Seasoned Dialogue on Instagram earlier this year. The beautiful voice and complexion encouraged me to play her reels and finding more about her. Thank y'all so much again for the connection. Thank you so much for listening in. I'm happy that you guys are here. So much is happening. I want to share, but I can't share it yet. I feel like I keep stalling, but there's something major that's happening very soon, in a couple of months, and I'm gonna shout it out as soon as they give me the go and the details that I can. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to, speak life into you again. But tune into this Friday's episode where I do an interview with a certain someone, and it was awesome. Thank you guys. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.